And the final speaker now in our series of 4 comes from the local airport here in Prague, the one which most of us has probably traveled through most recently in the last few days. I'd now like to welcome the CEO of Prague Airport, Jiří Pos. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. A warm welcome from Prague Airport. It's always so difficult to speak after Olivier and to reach the quality of presentation, but I hope that I can bring you some interesting information from Prague Airport. We named this presentation, it's European Airport Perspective. I have to say this is a medium-sized European airport perspective. I'm CEO of Prague Airport. I've been with aviation since 1986, 20 years with Czech Airlines, mainly sales and ground operation, and joining Prague Airport in 2006. I just prepared some information about the Prague Airport, our experience from EASA certification process, and last but not least, information on how we manage the safety management system at Prague Airport. You went through the Prague Airport. We are strategic infrastructure of Czech Republic, the main gateway. We consider our catchment area as large as Czech Republic. Of course, it's overlapping with catchment area from Vienna and southeast and Munich on southwest. On the other hand, we can attract some passengers from border parts of Germany and Poland and the north. Some figures. Before COVID, we reached the maximum 17.8 million in 2019. We operate 4 terminals, actually 3 terminals, 2 for passenger. One is dedicated to non-Schengen, other one to Schengen operation. At area south is Terminal 3 for general aviation, and Terminal 4 actually is operated by the Ministry of Defense, and it's very original terminal from back in 1937. We actually celebrated this year 85 years anniversary when the airport was open. Thanks to Olivier, it was nice to us. He didn't show the Czechia flag at the end. We are in the same situation like Finland. Our pace of recovery is slower than Europe. There are several objective reasons. First, we were heavily dependent on Eastern markets, particularly Russia and Ukraine and Asia. We have a limited number of VFRs, and last but not least, we completely lost our key account, Czech Airlines. Back in 2010, it was 60+% share of traffic share. Recently, Czech Airlines operates 1 aircraft, so in between pre-COVID and this year, it's less 3 million passengers because they literally disappeared. We were even having some problems starting the presidency with no direct flight between Prague and Brussels. Then it was 1 flight daily, so now it's 3 flights daily. But so it's those are the reasons that we are a little bit behind the pace. This year we operated 150 direct destinations, 60 carriers, and we probably reached 10.7 million passengers. This is like 60% of pre-COVID numbers. Prague Airport has 2 operational runways, main runway 0624 with 3B category, with limited dual operation with a cross runway, which has another problems because it's the aim and its direction over the very populated area of Prague. So as I mentioned, there is a very limited dual operation. So we are literally single runway airport operation with 46 movements per hour coordinated. And there's what is also one of our strengths. We are A380 and CAT F aircrafts certified or compatible. There are some future plans like any other airport. We know how to grow. Our nearest priority is to extend the terminal capacity, which reached some bottlenecks before COVID in 2019. So we literally want to extend the Terminal 2, prepare the terminal for the railway connection, which finally might come to the airport in 2029, hopefully after 30 years of the project. And we also have to deal with the gate security at Terminal 1. It's one-level security with high demand on resources, board personnel and techniques. So this is our nearest priority. Ongoing project of parallel runway. It's also a very interesting story with bumpy road. And back in 2010, we managed to get positive environment impact assessment, but we're going through a very difficult process of urban permit. And we expect, if everything goes well from now onward, to start the construction as latest as 2032. The luxury of Prague Airport is that we have a space to grow. But what happened over the last 10 years, as I mentioned, the Czech Airlines was generating 60 plus traffic share. The structure of the aircrafts and load factors significantly changed. We have much more passengers per hour movement, so it's not a critical task for us now to build a second parallel runway. Of course, it will definitely bring to higher safety, more and better environmental impact, because the cross runway will be shut down. There will be no more operation over the populated area. But last but not least, it brings some more capacity, especially through the peak hours. So our experience from EASA certification, we went through the certified process in 2017. It's been kind of evolution for us, which brings definitely involvement in consultation, flexibility, sharing best practices, and enforcement. What is more and the highest benefit is kind of new culture, that we can be more consistent and responsible in self-assessment. There was no possibility for this kind of self-assessment before EASA certification. We can identify the deviation, we can implement the risk assessment on each deviation, and what is also very important, we can prioritize and set an action plan to mitigate the deviation. So this is definitely pros from the process of higher standardization through EASA. In reality, there were identified 17 deviations to certification standards, broken up to 93 items. 73 has been already finished and complained, and there are still 21 in progress. At this point, I would like also mention that from management point of view, it's somehow costly, and you have to somehow balance and mitigate the DADs in also the view of how much it costs. So it's kind of, First, you manage 20%, most critical, which can bring you 80% of problems, your ongoing process, but last 21 DADs, which are still in progress, are very, very costly. So we have to still go through another circle of assessment and set some action plan for further mitigation. Of course, as already mentioned, that the new procedures give us chance not only to mitigate us, but also to influence our stakeholders at the airport. It was also quite difficult before EASA certification. We stand alone and not always having the understand from our stakeholders, partners, ground handlers, airliners, and so on. Well, this ongoing process is what been already mentioned, permanent and very proactive communication with all stakeholders, airport operators, ground handlers, CAA, of course, EASA, and other stakeholders which are having some operation within the airport area. And we want first priorities to reach the common understanding of needs, effective implementation, sharing the best practices, and always balanced approach. Last but not least, I'd like to show you and inform you about our safety management system. Is working at Prague Airport. Libor Kurzweil, it's probably a name you very well known. He's active within the ACI, safety boards, Europe and world. And he finished the studies and joined the airport back in 2007, and his task was to set the safety management system. I think over the 15 years, he bring it to the level of excellence. It's been originally, and it's still based on ICAO Safety Management Manual to 4 basic pillars: safety policy and objectives, risk management, assurance, and promotion. But on top of that, we are having additional activities which further improve the management system, which is data-driven safety management system, benchmarking, sharing the best practices, and also newly, it's kind of safety of new generation. Going into the details, we have permanent safety teams. It's runway safety operation team and apron safety operation team, which includes also ANS, ground handlers, and key accounts, Ryan and SmartWings. Those are 2 base carriers at Prague Airport. They actually, each of them generates approximately 20% of traffic, so altogether 40%. So it's important, and also check-in lines, but not anymore with a significant share. There are some specific activities like runway FOD wall. Whenever the main runway is maintained, after it's finished, there is employees are also the representatives from neighbor villages going over the runway and collecting the FODs. So it's very appreciated from every stakeholders. Safety bus, it's probably known from other airports. It's the bus decorated with a lot of safety features, having different stops during 2-3 days program, inviting the ground staff, also the airline personnel, offering coffee and some snack, and also asking them to fill the questionnaire. If they succeed, they get some present. But more importantly, we can get some informal feedback from the people right from the ground, right from the operation. And last but not least, in November, which is our month of safety, when the winter operation starting, at the beginning there's annual safety conference, which includes not only airline but also rail, nuclear power plant, safety personnel. So it's kind of very effective information share. Benchmarking, we are proud to be member of a group of 18 airports, including Heathrow, Amsterdam, INA. So this is a unique possibility to share safety standards, safety levels through this excellent group. And it's also for us good to present it to our shareholder that we are at a certain position, not only to our targets, but benchmark over the Europe. We already applied to EASA the data for safety, which is similar data sharing and improvement, because what is better than sharing the experience and benchmarking from other airports through the aviation family, airport family particularly. This is my position is also the post holder. Libor Kurzweil, the head of safety, is reporting directly to me, so he's reporting to the board. We have this kind of annual review board, not annual, it's actually quarterly, 4 times yearly we evaluate the safety indicators and measuring it's not only year on year, but also, as already mentioned, to European benchmark. So this is good assurance for the board that we are in the right direction at a certain level of safety. And this is something rather new. I can name it safety, new generation safety. This is something what Eurocontrol actually is promoting. It's not only to collect the data when something happens, but it's also to collect the positive data. It's like we have cup half full, half empty. This is in matter of safety, how we approach it. You can see there is one failure in 10,000. So But we always talk about the one failure, but we should also talk and understand why 9,999 things went well without any accident or incident, and based on these findings and understanding of this process to further improve the training, data sharing, and everything. So this is something new, like it's mentioned, by combining both ways of thinking, we try to move to even higher level of excellence. It's always about well said, communicated, and understood and properly implemented procedures through whole stakeholders. I remind me that somewhere some wise person mentioned that everybody has own butterflies, but to reach the excellence, you have to make them fly in formation. So I believe that EASA is the right association, right body to help us to let our butterflies fly in formation. So thank you for having the conference in Prague. Have a fruitful rest of the conference. Enjoyable evening and rest of the stay in Prague. And thank you for attention.
Thank you very much.